The comments from this administration and others on the left, I mean, it sounds like a bad Saturday Night Live movie. I mean, it really does. The opinions that people have, and like you said, they truly believe this stuff. It's downright scary. Same thing here. We had a couple on the East Coast, couple of good winters, couple of bad ones. It's cyclical. And then you look at record temps or record snowfall. Sometimes it's 1990, then it's the 1800s. It's all over the place of when it happened and whatnot. It used to be called weather, and they need to go and label it, in order to, again, divide people so you can have something else to blame someone with, and usually a conservative. Now, you do a lot of writing and thoughtful pieces, but a simple online post you had up a few weeks ago really made me laugh out loud, yet there's certainly truth behind it. It was a picture of you with the caption, "The closest I ever got to a lesbian experience was kissing a liberal guy."
Yes.
Are you saying Piers Morgans and Barack Obamas and Al Frankens of the world are less than manly men?
Oh, no, I'm not going to say that out loud, but I'm thinking it. No, you know what, if you look at what men used to be, gentlemen, opening the door, and that we've feminized men. We really have. For some reason, we don't want men to be masculine, and I'm blaming this one on the feminists, because they are now more masculine than our liberal men.
Yep.
They really are. They are like one chest hair away from qualifying as men.
And some of them, they're ahead of men in that, like the Joy Behars, so,
Exactly. We've got guys walking around in skinny jeans, Converse, and fake glasses, and getting manicures and stuff, and you're like, okay, where are the real men at? And that's why I like living on the West Coast, because we've got less of that. I mean, take one look at those guys, and you know who they are, because they generally hang out at Starbucks. But, I mean, you know who they are, and people generally try to avoid them. I mean, we still have farm boys here. You can go into town, and at any moment, you're going to see a man with mud all over his truck. He's got his work clothes on. He stinks, and he smells like sweat and like the day's work, and it's like, that's what a man should be, in my opinion.
Listen, Sierra, they want bathrooms for kids to have no gender on them. One of the colleges in New York now has just put down an edict that they don't want any of the letters for official college business to say Mr. or Mrs. on it. You must not show any sort of gender. If you made this up, and I'm not talking about 1920, if you made this up 5, 6, 8 years ago, people would say, come on, cut it out. And here we are, and everybody's just looking the other way, worrying about Kanye and Beyonce.
This is exactly what happened to Rome. I mean, they're devaluing our dollar. Basically, everything that we have is going to be worth nothing. The world is in turmoil. And what are we doing? We're focusing on what Kanye did at the Grammys. Yeah, he's an ass. Everybody knows that. I mean, come on, that's just common knowledge. But that is getting so much more attention than, say, ISIS, say Hamas, Boko Haram, people that are actually actively out there committing atrocities on a daily basis. And we're worried about what Kanye did or didn't say at the Grammys. I mean, sorry, not a big deal. Yeah, it was racist, but whatever.
The most insane part of all of it is that it is not a mistake. I mean, when, these things are used as a diversion. Sometimes politicians come up with it themselves, oh, wait a minute, we're getting hammered on, say, Obamacare, so let's talk gay marriage or gun control. But other times it comes up with the entertainment industry, gives them a helping hand. So here, Kanye or whoever, let's do something, Bruce Jenner, let's do something nuts, and then that way we don't worry about a guy who's being burned in a cage.
No, they want to divert your attention, because then if they didn't do that, they would have to answer for it. Why didn't you have a response to this? Or why didn't you intervene when you could have? And they don't want to answer the hard questions. Obama would rather do a BuzzFeed interview, whatever he did, than he would go meet with the Prime Minister of Israel.
Yeah.
Or any of our other allies. He doesn't want to be president. He wants to be a celebrity. He wants to be known as the first black president. He doesn't want to be known by his track record, which is piss poor, in my opinion.
Let me ask you, as a journalist, what do you think of the whole Brian Williams deal?
I think that it's providing endless entertainment, and none of the memes I see ever get old. I think, we all, in our daily lives, we all embellish a little bit, but you are a journalist. It is your job to report the facts. And if you're not reporting the facts, I mean, who can we trust? Because he was it. He was the most trusted guy in journalism. And now it's like, who can you trust? And people are already having a problem trusting journalists and the just basic news. We didn't need any help. And now he's getting shot down in choppers, and I don't know. I think he should resign. I think the 6-month suspended leave is just basically them trying to clean up his mess. I think he needs to resign, and I think he needs to leave journalism altogether because he's making it harder for the rest of us.
And many libs are lauding him, saying he was courageous to go ahead and admit it. So basically saying, well, most of us would have lied all the way. I mean, so that's supposed to be a good thing. And others saying he should run for president. So, yeah, he'd fit right in with the crowd in Washington, that's for sure, as far as the lying situation. And, now Pinocchio is Peter Pan's dad, that whole thing. It's unbelievable. So we introed you as a conservative millennial. How do you get the word out to others your age and grow that conservative, common sense American movement for the future? Because that's the only way you really turn things around. Because obviously the Obamas and the Elizabeth Warrens and the John Boehners of the world, not happening.
Oh, no, absolutely not. I utilize social media because everybody and their donkey has an account on some sort of social media site. So basically, I just let my opinions be known, and I get blowback for it, whatever. Yeah, I'm used to that. But there are a lot of people, especially people my age, who will message me and say, hey, I really agreed with this. Can you tell me more about it? Or can you tell me more about, these other issues that are in the news? What are your opinions? And then I give my opinion, and they're like, oh, I agree with you. But they're afraid to say something because all of their friends are, pro-choice, pro-OWS, pro-Palestine, whatever, and they're afraid to say something, because the media has made it out to be that conservative and traditional values are unpopular and that you are going to be ridiculed mercilessly for them. So it's actually amazing, and I think more conservative millennials need to stand up. I mean, I was raised on a farm. I had 2 brothers, and I had a dad who loved to fight, like karate, and I learned how to defend myself in every way. I mean, in my house, we had, insult wars, and you learn to grow a thick skin. And basically, you have to wade through all of the insults and all of the nastiness to get to the few people that are in my age group that are conservative. And then they can tell their friends, they can talk to their friends and sort of spread the message. And even if they don't believe in it, at least you're giving them an alternative to what's being pumped into their ears on a daily basis. And it's especially hard with schools and college now, basically are indoctrination centers. So you have to get them especially young, which is why I always recommend homeschooling kids. Especially with teen moms, I definitely recommend homeschooling their kids because it's hard once they get into that sort of environment and are told what to believe. They're told what to believe as opposed to how to, think about certain things. That's when it gets hard because it's so deeply ingrained into them that, you may never be able to talk common sense into them.
Well, the hope here is that people like yourself and others, will be able to get that word out. And like you said, they see other people their age or people that look like them and act like them and maybe get that message. Because if you're not getting it from your parents, you're right. They're killing it at schools. The public schools are telling them one way, and it's all the same way. In the media, the same thing. And you're not cool if you do this. You're not in if you do this. And really, it's quite the opposite. Sierra Marlee, it's a pleasure to talk to you. And we thank you so much for joining us on the Palin Update.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to be with you.
For more on Sierra Marlee, head to rightwingnews.com.